Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet? Has to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others. As for me, give me liberty, or give me death.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Welcome to the Breaking Bunny Show. Let's see, we got anybody over here yet? Oh, yeah, got one, man. Mr. Levi Skeen, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're entertained by the show, my friend. Breaking Bunny, I got away from it for 1 week, but I'm going to go bring back my comic review segment. At this point, though, is I'm going to review a whole entire series. Okay, now, just so you know, my bona fides. This is all the same series. Okay, it's all the same one, right? Right. Got the two trades. I got the trade, and then I got the reissue with the improvements. But yeah, so I got that, and also when this puppy was offered, I grabbed one of these. So there you go, 16 to 20, Mr. Trashman himself. So when I say this is a series I'm familiar with, yeah, you can't get better proof than that. I've been following this series. Now, I started a little bit late. I got the trade paperback of the first arc, which was the Trash Day arc, introducing Trash Man to the world. Trash Man happens to be about an 8-foot tall kind of country bumpkin who is an energy sink. He absorbs energy like a battery, and he's almost impervious and invulnerable. So, because the last time we saw him, he was very vulnerable. So, Anyway, but this whole entire series, it's very well. It reminds me of like classic Eric Claremont uh, because it's more about the characters than and the story kind of is what happens to them. There's a lot of times these days where you see things written and then characters are plugged in because the plot was the most important thing to this person. The predicament was the most important thing. But in these books, you'll get things like little side things, like two of them are getting married, so there's like a wedding dress fitting or and a bachelor party, and it's a first date scenario where a buffet bar gets destroyed because Trashman happens to need a lot of energy to be that big. Anyway, but it's a cute story. Cute story. I've actually written a character for this universe. I believe in it so much. I paid for the privilege to write a character, which I've been told is going to be in either a supplemental or the main arc coming up. So I'm going to actually be able to participate in helping write him. So pay attention to the Ice Cream Man and Hybrids. I think you'll like him. He's a very compelling villain. To me, he is, at least. I'm a little biased. But anyway, so why would I? This is about the third or fourth show I've made praising this series. And I know there's been a lot like rumored about my relationship with Luke, that if Luke pays me to do all the promotion that I do. And the truth of the matter is no, he doesn't. I'm a fan. Simply put, I'm a fan. Fan is short for fanatic. So if you can call me fanatical about the hybrid universe, I guess that would be apt. That'd be accurate. I believe in it. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I recommend it to anybody. And the art and the way it's drawn, it just improved over time. And every time you look at it, it just seems like it's more honed in and it's better art. But the story's always been there. The characters have always been there. This latest controversy where in Doctor Who, the Russell T. Davis, the current showrunner of Doctor Who, the old showrunner of Doctor Who that came back, talked about how he could not make anybody in a wheelchair a villain, so he took Davros out of the wheelchair and made him basically normal and ordinary and boring. But there's a character in Hybrid's universe. Dude doesn't have any powers. He's except what's in his brain and in his experience, and yet in no way, shape, or form does it feel like that he's a throwaway. He's very much part of the series and very, my most compelling character. Actually, Luke actually drew him for me on the back of one of the boards one of the comics I got. I think I got it. Hold on. Let me see. Shouldn't be hard to find. Just a second. Got to sort through here. Is this the one? Oh, all right. There it is. My man, Danny. There you go. So, just one of my favorite all-time characters. He's just says what's on his mind. There's one point where let me quote it exactly. It's right here. I quote it wrong all the time. Let me get it right. Yeah, here it is. So, first time Trashman meets this dude. Yeah. There he is. First time he meets him, he's got him in a wheelchair right there. And this is what he says. Settle down, Buttercup. Don't get your panties in a wad. So yeah, I'm a fan of that character. Fan of the series. It's a great series. It's even got a great romance between Trashman and oh gosh, what is her name? Sorry, I worked last night. Chlorine. Beautiful, beautiful Chlorine. How did I forget her? She's got green hair, but she's not a green hair, if you know what I mean. But it's just a great series. Right now, let me share this. Right now, Luke is running on FMC. He is running a campaign with Starcross Comics. And this is two characters that they've come up with called Starstruck and Trashman. It's a book that they wrote. Luke at one point was with Starcross, and they agreed to do this comic. And the script has been around for a while, and it's only gotten better over time. And so they finally made the book. And this book should be funded by now. It really should be. And so I'm just trying to get it more eyes. This is a great series, great character, and I've backed this book. I hope other people will as well. Still got a few days to go. Hold on 1 second. Save your face with some Mason the Dark. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I don't know. Jeez Louise, man. That was really random. Shave your face with some Mason the Dark. I don't know what that's from. Anyway, so this book is deserves your time. I believe it's definitely a recommend to back. Let me go ahead and give my series. Let me give my rating for the whole series. Okay. This is a series that I've been following from a long time. Gotten every book he's put out, and for the whole entire series, this is my rating. Yes, that is 6 carats. I gave it 6 carats. So look us up on Fund My Comic. The link is in the description below. This thing deserves way more backs than it's got. I think it's going to be a fun book. And it's not many people that are bigger than Trashman. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he interacts with somebody bigger than him, because that doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, that's a definite buddy recommend. Check this campaign out. The link is in the description. So is Luke Stone Studios itself. Also in the description if you want the back catalog of hybrids. I think everything's available on that website. And back it today. Back it early, back it often. It's a great... Luke is more than just FMC's head, and he's the creator in his own right, and a very, very, very good one. I can't suggest the series enough to you. So get the back catalog and get this Starcross team up. You will not get mad at me later. Definite. Anyway, let me close that out. All righty. Come on, bring up the comments. See what I got. All right. What's that? That's from that song. I'm not sure. That's kind of incredible. Yeah. I don't do it very often. Super cool promoting their book. Well, um, it is. It's a great book series. Everybody's complaining they don't have anything to read or they don't have anything to believe in. They don't have any IPs to follow. And here's one right here. And you can get the whole back catalog pretty cheaply. Plus, check out what else Arrow Comics has got available. There's definitely some bundles to check out their whole entire line if you want. It's an up and coming comic book imprint, and I think it's definitely worth your time. What song is that from, though, Shadowpunk? Because it sounds familiar. Anyway, got me distracted. Don't get me my ADHD started, man. You get me distracted, I'll lose my track. Anyway, so the title. The oh, gotcha. Loser by Beck. I used to know that song by heart. I can't remember. I don't know why. Beck, yeah. I used to know that song by heart, man. That was like my anthem. That and Creep, if that tells you anything about my teenage years. I didn't even remember a word of those songs. Oh, well. Anyway. Mental faculties are back on top. Did you adjust your diet? Well, no, not really. I'm still on keto. If you did look at the update I did yesterday on my health, I've dropped 22 pounds and hope to keep going. Starting some exercise regime this week. Try to start burning some calories. Love Creep, yeah. You love it. Everybody loves it except for those pretentious assholes that is Radiohead. Yeah, they're like, oh, we're not in that place anymore, blah, blah, blah. You know what? That great guitar, that rough kind of intro that just comes in with all that force and strength that just gives you goosebumps. The first time I heard it was just like, oh, man. Well, that's because the guitarist hated the song so bad, thought it was maudlin, that he tried to ruin the take by coming in with that guitar. But it sounded so good they kept it. So I mean, they're just a bunch of pretentious wankers, man. I love the song. I hate Radiohead. Anyway, all right. Seems kudos. I appreciate it. Well, Creed sucks, but I was talking about Creep, the song Creep. There is a version by this guy, Brian something or other. It was on America's Got Talent. Brian Crumb. I think his name is Crumb. Anyway, Creed Shield. It's Creep. Creep. We're not talking about Creed. We're talking about Creep. Anyway, but Brian Crumb, I think his name is. He did a version of Creep on America's Got Talent. Every hair in my body rose up because he sang it like he cared, unlike a asshole lead singer of Radiohead who doesn't. But he sang it like he cared, and man, he put his heart into that song. Holy crap! Creep, Creep, C-R-E-E-P. Jeez Louise, man. I tell you what, man. If it wasn't for the abuse I get from my chat, I wouldn't think anybody cared. Anyway, all right. Now let me read you this article. Now this is the reason why I think Disney's dead and it's not coming back. Oh, I appreciate it. You can get it at Best Buy. It comes as a kit. Anyway, actually, I need to adjust that. All right. So I didn't hear about it till later, but I know a lot of people have already talked about this. But I like to read Bounding into Comics. They got some really good reporting over there, and most of the time they get it right. They really get it right. So I just wanted to discuss this. This is from the. It's called. It's the SEC filing that Disney has to give to the Stock and Trades Commission. So when you have a significant loss in your company, in which Disney has lost $7 billion, 7 billion with B, of they've lost 7 billion over the last year, and so because you have to give a reason why to your stockholders, they what this article is based on the filings that they did for the SEC. And this is a really good article. I'm just going to go ahead and read it right out. Hold on one second. Let me just put this in the chat right quick. Okay, this is the article. I'm bounding into comics. I'm putting it into the chat, and I am going to pin it. So yeah, so this is the article right here. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. All right, that's big enough. I'll just read it to you. Revealed in the recent filings. Okay, Walt Disney Company appears to ready to fully acknowledge the cost of its political and social agenda. Revealed in recent filings to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, Disney notes to regulators and potential investors in its business, we face risk relating to misalignment with public and consumer taste and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offering and products and the profitability of any and all of our business. Put simply, Disney is taking on water and they know it. By law, they have to inform current and would-be investors of this fact. The magic is fading. Okay. Now, that's a lot of lawyer speak. I don't claim to be very brilliant, but I do have pretty high end reading and record and comprehension. But what that basically says is Disney is saying that we missed the mark because the consumer moved. In other words, we were right, but the consumer was wrong. Okay, and so basically, they basically were pandering to people who weren't their customer, and they missed the mark. But they're not willing to admit that. Now, you find out in 12-step programs and any kind of recovery program that the first and foremost is to admit guilt, is to admit that you're powerless, to admit that that your mistakes were your mistakes. And that's the only way you recover. That's the only way you make it back. And so this SEC filing shows very clearly that Disney doesn't think they did anything wrong. And so what that means is that no matter what they do going forward from this day onward, until they acknowledge that what they're doing with their ideology and their programming and their agenda, obvious and open and naked agenda, is not conducive to the health of their company, until they acknowledge that, there's no way they can make their way back. Now, I was watching Clownfish TV last night. Clownfish TV, I highly recommend it. Geeky Sparkles and Neon from Clownfish TV. They are not politically active. They don't claim either side. They consider themselves completely neutral. And so I'll get texts from them that I don't get from other people. And they get called alt-right all the time, but they're not. And if you hear the disgust in their voice anytime they mention Trump, but they don't like go out their way to mention it, but they're not Trump supporters. When they say I'm not a Trump supporter, you're like, yeah, okay. But they don't care about anybody. It is that's the beauty of it. I don't care if they're not Trump supporters. They don't care if anybody is, which is the important part. But they follow Disney. They were big Disney files. They used to have an entire channel about park business that was happening at Disney parks, and they just shut the doors on that channel because they no longer had any good business or good news to share. And besides, Disney went after them multiple times. Disney doesn't take criticism very well. Just ask Gina Carano. Anyway, but the bottom line is what they said was that Disney could not find the customer if you spotted them. If you took them all the way to the customer and planted them right in front of the customer and said, this right here is your customer. This is who you need to please. Disney would be like, I don't understand what you're talking about. We're pleasing our customer. So what that means is there is no correction coming. There is no about face coming. They believe they are headed in the right direction. The customer is the one that needs to adjust. The customer is the one that needs to get with it, correct their behavior, correct their thinking. That's the reason why they're shoving ideology into everything so hard. It's because they're trying to fix their customer. Yeah, I don't hear anybody else talking about this, but yeah. But basically, okay. I always say this: the 2016 election broke entertainment. The whole entire entertainment industry broke it. Okay. And the reason why is because it made the biggest consumer of entertainment product in America public enemy number one. And they basically it created this disgust for most of America in the hearts and minds of these people who live in these blue enclaves in the extreme coast, who never talk to anybody that doesn't vote D, no matter who, and because of that, they throw anybody else out. They've thrown anybody else out of the industry. Okay, the problem with that is a lot of people in the industry, a lot of old timers, were more on the conservative side, more the conservative libertarian. But libertarians become conservative. And so they threw a bunch of people out the door. Now, you've seen the lovely little lady right there with the really horrible animation. That's from a movie called Wish. Okay. Wish just came out 3 weeks ago now. And it's already dropped off the radar. This movie was meant to be the celebration of 100 years of animation for Disney. And according to Film Threat, they were approached by people who worked at this animation studio, worked on this actual movie, and they said that they were basically sent out the door, uh, completely for ideological reasons, either their skin color or their voting habits or their social media, that they were targeted and sent out the door. And so some of the biggest architects of the golden age of Disney animation that happened in the 2000s and 19s and the 2000s and for the most of the 2010s are gone, were targeted, neutralized, and sent packing. They're working for other animation studios now, and this happened like just within the last little while. COVID was a reason to for to find the weed out people who had a different political viewpoint with the vaccine. The basically because of the vaccine, whether you took the vaccine or not, seemed to light up along ideological and political lines, then you couldn't be quiet about your politics anymore, or they would know. If you didn't take the vaccine, they're like, oh, you must be conservative. You must be an anti-vaxxer. Okay, you must be a Trump supporter. Gone. And the they used COVID in the vaccine mandates to get rid of a lot of the conservatives, a lot of the older animators, a lot of people who didn't believe that they should be guinea pigs for the government. They were sent out the door. Anyway, it's a miracle we actually got the Incredibles 2 for Disney. What's up? Good stuff. Hey, man. Good to see you, buddy. Your creepy avatar. Weird. Anyway. Yeah, they hunted down non-vaxxers, right? And yikes. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually happened. This is people speaking anonymously to like Chris Gore and Alan Ing from Film Threat, because they knew that these guys are only open up and they'll protect their sources. And they were telling him, is like, yeah, they used the vaccine mandate to get rid of everybody that they didn't like or didn't agree with or didn't think that they would agree with, but couldn't prove it before, but they were able to get rid of them. And what you're seeing now is what happens when a whole bunch of diversity hires come into the industry at one time. A whole bunch of ideologically bent diversity hires. There's nothing wrong with diversity. Diversity is a natural thing that occurs from meritocracy. See, nobody wants to talk about that. Diversity happens when you're a true meritocracy. As long as you make a true meritocracy, you'll have diversity. But they want to force everything for the ideology, and because they pat POCs and people with sexual dysfunctions on the head and say, oh, well, let's lift you up and give you a better job or whatever, because that's our responsibility. But anyway, so what happened to Wish, this 100-year anniversary in animation and Disney film, and it had all these animation movie callbacks. They had supposedly had Easter eggs all throughout this movie. But then when you look at the plot, it's about this young person of color girl basically overthrowing the patriarchy. This white king that she was hoarding people's dreams, which was the fuel for the kingdom or the wishes, right? And she believed that you shouldn't have your wishes you should have everything that you wish for. And so she overthrows the king and starts handing out wishes willy-nilly, and the whole kingdom comes apart, which is kind of funny because it kind of proves his point. But anyway, so that's what they chose. This movie was supposed to started out. The movie started out as being When You Wish Upon a Star, the origin story for When You Wish Upon a Star. It was meant to be a celebration of the history of Disney and Disney storytelling, and and what it became was a socialist fairy tale that nobody believes in, or it's not even going to make back half of its budget. Anyway, let me see here. Had no idea about that. Yeah, it happened. Your icon's staring at me. uh, that icon's creepy, man. It's just creepy. He came on my show the other day, and I was just like, I can't look at that. Thank God I stopped working at the company in 2009. It's opened my eyes and saved my life. Yep. They miss somebody in you, dude. They freaking miss somebody in you. If I had a wish, I'd wish for every time I go to pay for something, I reach in my pocket and pull out the exact change. That can happen, my friend. Get a change purse. Anyway, so basically what happened was they got everything they wanted. They got everything they thought they wanted. They got rid of everybody that they believed needed to be gone, and they're all working with their girlfriends and girl bosses and everybody they wanted to be around, and they all got together with from the same social strata, from the same social environment, from the same belief system, and from the same indoctrination, and try to put together a movie that was doomed from the beginning, because nobody that the movie was going to watch this movie was going to be able to identify with it, that didn't live in these enclaves on the extreme coast and only talk to people with that particular political bent. And you know what? Those people with that particular political bent, socialism, communism, that all those isms, they don't buy anything. They don't pay for anything. And that's who you're catering to, is people who don't buy or pay for anything. And oh, by the way, are not satisfied by anything. It's never woke enough for them. It's never pandering enough for them. And they're never going to be happy with it. But there's this whole entire group of people over here, like me. I am a Disney kid. I grew up on Disney. Okay. Sunday night movies. Before we'd go back to school on Monday, but we'd always stay up and watch the Sunday night movie. All those, the Cat from Outer Space, a astronaut in King Arthur's court, just crazy ideas like that. The Herbie movies. I was a huge Herbie fan, man. And, but all these movies, man, I grew up on them. Dean Jones was my favorite actor all the way up to the day he died. I loved Dean Jones. I loved everything he was in. And Blackbeard's Ghost. I love Blackbeard's Ghost. I mean, a great movie. But what they did was they said to people who had a low bar to please, that, oh, we're going to, you'll be over here and you'll buy anything, you'll consume anything. We don't have to cater to you. We have to cater to this group over here who complain about everything, moan and groan about everything, stay on Twitter 24/7, and agitate. That's who we need to please. And if we please them, then you're just trained seals and you're going to buy it anyway. You're going to buy product anyway. But then the people, that it's like they completely, totally ignored their consumer base. They completely, totally ignored their needs, ignored their beliefs, ignored their desires for and their values. They particularly ignored their values. And they said, okay, we've got these guys. let's go and try to get everybody else. And the people they pursued were way, way, way over here. And the people who actually bought, supported, believed, had mouse everything, those people were abandoned. But then after things went bad and they stopped buying tickets, what did Disney do? They attacked those very same fans for not supporting them, even though they threw them over, ignored them, abused them, and walked away from them. And now in its SEC filing, they're blaming them. They're like, we missed the boat. Well, because we basically went in this direction right here, and they didn't follow us. That's why we lost all this money. Not that we missed them. It's they missed us. And that's why it's failed. Disney is doomed to fail, because you have to acknowledge your culpability and you have to be willing to change it. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. The whole change thing. Yep. Sounds like Milkshake Nightmare. Yeah, right. Bedknobs and Broomsticks was cool. I love Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Man, I love that movie. You're on fire. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. But see, that's the thing. When second season of Mandalorian finale, I watched all the reactions to it. Okay, I watched the reactions to it, and I would see people. They're sitting there, and all of a sudden they're like, an X-wing went by. Whoa! Is that an X-wing? That's an X-wing. And then it's like, oh crap! Who is this? And people would just start like on the edge of their seat, right? And then it's like, all of a sudden there's somebody that walks out with this cape and the hood up and just starts kicking some major butt. And it's like, oh my God, is that him? And they're like on the edge of their seat. They're so excited. They're so wired. And then it's like, what color's the lightsaber? And then it comes in the frame as color, and it's green. And they just cried. It's like, oh my God, it's green. It's Luke. And then he just proceeds to just kick butt all the way over to the control room, and then basically wave the doors open and walks in this cloud of smoke and throws his hood back, and it's Luke freaking Skywalker. The Luke Skywalker that we all thought we were getting in the sequel trilogy. The Luke Skywalker we were all waiting for. The Luke Skywalker that every Star Wars fan, believed he would be, that he would turn into after the Last Jedi. It was him. He was there. It was there the poor CGI'd face. Yeah, but it was there in the eyes. You knew that was Luke, and he was calm. He was serene. He was in control, and he was badass. And people were literally weeping when they watched this. The weeping. That's the most excitement I've seen around Star Wars since the sequel trilogy started. And Kathleen Kennedy threw out the EU and announced that she was going an entirely new direction, especially since The Last Jedi. But you could see that the people still were there. They still wanted this. And they finally got something. It was from Jon Favreau. I mean, without interference from Kathleen Kennedy, because she just let him have it. Because she had bigger fish to fry with the movies. So she let him go, right? And Dave Filoni, right there's his Igor, right there helping him out. And then the first season of Boba Fett runs around, and they completely erase everything. They take Grogu, the little baby Yoda, back away from Luke, and put him back with Din Djarin, and then gave Lucas this, asshole narrative that made him look like the guy from The Last Jedi, and just ruined everything. Just completely erased all that goodwill that was still there, and just took a dump on it. And then wondered why the ratings fell off a cliff after that. And then Mandalorian season 3, they even cucked out Din Djarin and gave it to Bo-Katan, the chick. I mean, they basically just made her save him like several times, and she's basically the Mandalorian now. I mean, they just could not let the fans have it. They couldn't let the fans have it because they hate the fans. Everybody, they hate you. Look at this following right here. That's what that means. We were right. The fans were wrong. That's why we missed. That's why we dropped all this money. It's because we went aiming for the fans, and they weren't where they were supposed to be. They weren't where they were supposed to be, and we missed it. But not because of us, not because of anything that we've pushed, not because of any ideology we have, not because of anything that we've tried to accomplish. Not because of any hiring practices we've had that completely threw out everybody that knew who the customer base was. No, they threw out the map. They threw out the map and disdained it, and said, "We don't want to find these customers. We want these customers to make the step across and find us, because we're where we're supposed to be. We have the right values. You're supposed to throw away your values and your ideologies, and you're supposed to come over here and consume product. That's what you're supposed to do as a fan. That's what you're supposed to do. You have to make the effort. You have to make the change. You have to hand over your wallet and just shut up and consume product, because that's all you are." Well, guess what, Bob? Guess what, Disney? We're a little bit more than that. As fans, we're a little bit more than that. We have our own beliefs, we have our own values, and we have our own goals. And brother, whatever you're doing, wherever you're heading, that's not where we are. And the people that you're heading for won't buy your product. Never would buy your product. They don't love anything. So you threw over all this love and all these people who supported you and made you into multi-billion-dollar organization that you were, just almost $1 trillion. Made you huge. Gave you the ability to buy up all these IPs. And you took a dump on them. Disdained them. And now you're putting a finger in their face and saying, "You're the reason we're failing right now." This is why Disney is dead. And this is why they're never coming back. Because they won't acknowledge they screwed up. And until they acknowledge that the content, the quality, and the direction they're going is the reason they're failing. Everything has to do with them. Okay, this is the truth about the customer. Okay? Customer doesn't have to support you. Now, you see what's happening with Doctor Who right now? The reason why Doctor Who is taking a dump on those Doctor Who fans, those beleaguered Doctor Who fans, the reason why it's disdaining them, this is why they're spitting on them, is because they got a BBC financing. Because the socialist government of England forced them to buy a license for BBC or not watch TV at all. That's why they can screw around and take a dump on the people that love Doctor Who. That's why they can disdain them, look them in the eye and say, "Well, this is where we're headed. If you don't like it, don't watch." because we still got funding to do whatever we want to. Your money, because you don't have a choice. Well, here in America, we have a choice. We have a choice to consume whatever the hell or support whatever the hell we want. And guess what? You don't support us, so we don't support you. You show disdain for us, we return the favor. Ask the customer. I was a Disney kid. I grew up on Disney stuff. Loved Disney stuff. I mean, I even went to Disney World at one point, and I thought it was great. Thought it was a big, amazing place. Loved it. But you don't like me. You don't like the way I believe. You don't like the way I vote. You don't like the way I think. You don't like the values I hold. And you've told me you don't. So why would I support you? Why would I ever support you? You don't support and finance people who hate your guts. It's not advantageous. And so that's what you're expecting of us. And this SEC filing proves that you're blaming us for your failing. You're blaming us for not going along with you. We're blaming us for not consuming your product when all you've done is tell us that this product's not for you. Sometimes very deliberately and openly, this isn't for you. And then mad because, wait a second, you didn't support it. Of course, we're not going to support it. You told us it's not us. It's not for us. Not for our values. It's not for the way we view the world. And now you're going to sit there and blame us in an SEC filing and to show your stockholders, well, actually, it's not really our fault. It's the customer's fault. And Bob Iger sat in a chair just the other day, right before Elon Musk told him to go F himself in one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a long time. Bob Iger sat in that chair and reiterated all of this, said the exact same things that I just said. So this is me talking out my butt. This came from Bob's mouth himself. Still blaming Bob Chapek for all of it, when he was the one that instigated it. And oh, by the way, didn't vacate his office. He was still in the freaking office while Bob Chapek was doing all this stuff. And now he's like, the reason why Marvel's failed is because we didn't have enough oversight. In other words, if Bob had been there, it wouldn't have been a trash can fire. And oh, by the way, the director, who only did like a couple of indie movies before this disaster, blamed the frickin' fans, called them a bunch of names. It's your fault you didn't support this movie. It's your fault. It's crap. You shouldn't have took the job. You couldn't do this movie. You never done anything with special effects before. You didn't know anything with this kind of a budget. And $350 million later, you put a turkey out on the market, and it didn't even make 100 million in stateside. When they do billion easy, billion with a B. Anyway, so a second. Green lightsaber has actually bummed me out. I was hoping it was purple because Mace never actually died. No, all right, okay, I hear you. Yeah, it might have been cool to be Mace. Doctor Who, the Brits are so weird. Yeah. Now the Brits aren't so weird. The BBC is weird. The Brits are still the same people. It's the BBC has gone weird. It's gone Hollywood, like the rest of the entertainment. So, what's going on right now? Korean shows are popular, and Japanese movies, Korean movies, Indian movies, the Bollywood stuff, still popular all across the world. Still million sellers, still makes over $1 billion, some of them. Why? Because they don't live in these blue enclaves and talk to only themselves. I mean, what kind of book would I write if all I talked to, if I never went out in public and talked to anybody but myself? If I sat in a room all day long talking to myself, never consuming anything from outside of me, and it all comes from me, what kind of product would that be? You're seeing it right now. So maybe the only way that Disney could ever make it back is if they walked outside and touched grass, someplace besides New York or LA. That's the only way. Is for them to bring people in who actually know where the customer is, who actually share the values, share the beliefs, share the entertainment desire. But you won't do that. You'll never do that. And that's why Disney's dead. Dead as a freaking doornail. And I don't even think Disney's going to be alive as an entity too much longer. I think it's going to be balled out. People like Disney have been, people like Apple have been circling because there's a stockholder revolt going on right now, led up by, of all people, Ike Perlmutter, who they blamed the destruction of Marvel on, even though he was still influencing Marvel, it was still making $1 billion a movie. But he's helping lead up a stockholder revolt right now. And the only chance they got is to kick Bob out and clean house. And freaking clean house from top to bottom. Get rid of everybody and find a way to take away Abigail Disney's ability to influence the company, because she is the cancer. She's where all this is started from. All this resentment of the history of Disney came from her. All of it. Her vendetta against Roy Disney, who, by the way, brought Disney back from the brink and threw out Michael Eisner. and basically saved Disney back the last time they're heading off a cliff. But whatever she's got against Disney itself, she needs to go. That's the only way back, and they will not do that. They won't. And that doesn't bring me any joy to say it. It doesn't bring me any joy to say it, because I was a Disney kid. I still watch the old stuff. Still love it. And that Disney's gone. It's gone. And there's too many things in place that prevents them from doing the surgery that they need to get back to the customer. Kathleen Kennedy and any other place and any other paradigm would have been gone a long time ago. But she'll retire and be praised by the industry. And she destroyed the biggest IP on the planet. Destroyed it. Made it irrelevant. Made it people apathetic towards it. That's her legacy. That's her contribution. And so Disney's not willing to do what's necessary. They're just not. So, i.e., R.I.P. Disney. Anyway, let me check the last comments before we go. All right. Bare minimum, Disney needs to kill the headlights and put it in neutral. So what I did there, I'm a verbal wizard. Yep. There you go. Anyway, thank you all for coming. So we don't go until Tangina tells us we can go. So Tangina, are we ready to go?
This house is clean.
Anyway, So the pinned article is in the chat. Go and read it for yourself. And there's also an article on Bounding into Comics about Bob's interview. And I pretty much agree with Elon Musk. The guy should just go F himself. He really should. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Still got comments over here. Let me check in before I go. What we got? All right, good show. All right, I appreciate it, guys. All right, thank you very much. All right, see you next time. And remember, follow the white rabbit. See you next rabbit hole.